I want you to think about the last time you looked something up online. You know that classic, familiar list of blue links? Well, its days are numbered. We're smack in the middle of the biggest change in how we find information in like 20 years. And today, we're going to break down exactly what that means for you.
For basically our entire digital lives, we've known just one way to search. You type in a few keywords, hit enter, and you get that page of 10 blue links. It's second nature. But that era, the one we all grew up with, it's officially ending. We are moving from search engines to answer engines.
So, what's the big idea here? Well, the fundamental shift is this. We're moving from a world where you just feed keywords to a machine to one where you can actually have a conversation with a tool that gets what you're really asking. And this, I think, really nails the difference. Look at the old model. You did all the heavy lifting, right? You had to come up with the perfect keywords, open up a dozen tabs, and then piece the story together yourself. In the new model, you just ask a question. The AI does all that synthesis for you and just gives you a direct, coherent answer. It's a total reversal of who does the work.
Okay, so how does all this actually work? I mean, it can feel a little bit like magic, but behind the curtain, there's a really cool piece of technology that's making it all possible. Let's, pull that curtain back and see what's really going on.
The key is an acronym you're going to be hearing a lot more about, RAG. It stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. Now, I know it sounds super complex, but the idea is actually pretty simple. Just think of it as a smart layer that connects a powerful AI brain directly to the live, constantly updated internet.
And to really get why RAG is such a game changer, just imagine asking one of the early chatbots a question. It was kind of like talking to a librarian who had memorized millions of books, but, years ago, and they hadn't read a new one since. Their info could be outdated, incomplete, or sometimes just flat out wrong. But with RAG, now this is where it gets good. That librarian becomes a brilliant research assistant. You ask a question, and they literally run through the library's shelves in real time, grab the most current books and articles, read the important parts, and then hand you a perfect summary, while showing you exactly where they got the information. That's the power of RAG. Fresh, relevant, and verifiable answers. So what's happening behind the scenes? Well, it's basically a 5-step dance. First, the system really understands your question. Then it pulls info from a bunch of live web sources. After that, it ranks them for quality, uses a big AI model to write a nice, coherent summary, and, this is the crucial part, it creates citations for everything it said. All right, now that we know how the magic trick works, let's meet the main players in this new landscape, because this isn't just about some new features. This is a strategic battle for the future of information. And believe me, each player has a very different game plan. First up, we have the focused disruptor, Perplexity AI. If you are doing any kind of serious research for school, for work, whatever, this is the tool you need to know about. It was built from the ground up, from day one, to be an answer engine, and it's all about high-quality, cited results. It is a direct challenge to the old way of doing things. So what makes it so special? Well, it's got these things called focus modes. So let's say you're writing a term paper. You can tell it to only search academic papers. Or maybe you're trying to learn a new skill. You can tell it to just search YouTube. It also has this incredible deep research mode that's like having your own automated research assistant for those really tough, complex topics. Of course, you absolutely cannot talk about search without talking about the reigning king, Google. Their strategy is, you could say, a defensive one. Instead of building a whole new place for you to go, they're plugging these AI overviews directly into the search experience that billions of us already use every single day. Now, Google's biggest advantage is just its mind-boggling scale. I mean, by putting AI answers at the very top of the page for its 1.5 billion users, they're just leveraging the massive audience they already have. Plus, that deep integration with maps and shopping and flights makes their AI really powerful for everyday real-world questions. And then there's Microsoft. Their vision is all about playing the ecosystem game. They want to create an AI companion that's woven into the very fabric of your operating system. Copilot isn't just a search engine. It's an assistant that lives right there in Windows, in your browser, and across all of Microsoft 365.
Copilot's real superpower is what Microsoft is calling its Work IQ. What does that mean? It means it has context about your stuff. It can remember past chats, look at your local files, and understand your projects. This lets you do some incredible things like summarize a Word doc and then use that summary to automatically build a whole PowerPoint deck for you. It's a true productivity machine.
So you've got all these new options. How in the world do you know which tool to use and when? Let's get practical. Let's figure out how to actually navigate this new world.
Okay, think of this chart as your cheat sheet. For those complex, multi-step questions like, hey, plan a 3-day trip to Rome for a history nerd, AI search is a no-brainer. It wins, hands down. Same for academic research. But if you need the absolute latest on a breaking news story, or you're just looking for a plumber near me, good old traditional search with its real-time results and map integration is still the champ.
So here's a super simple rule of thumb you can take away from all this. The 80-20 rule. For about 80% of your questions, the ones where you're trying to learn something, the hows and the whys, give an AI search a try first. For that other 20%, when you need breaking news, a local business, or just a specific website, your classic search engine is still your best bet.
And now, we've arrived at the single most important part of this entire explainer. Navigating this new world requires one absolutely critical skill. You can never, ever, ever blindly trust the AI. Because here is the real danger. These AI systems can hallucinate. That's the technical term. They can just make stuff up and present it to you with complete and utter confidence. So what do you do when the AI is confidently wrong?
And look, this is not a theoretical problem. In a now famous case, a lawyer in New York used an AI for legal research. The AI literally invented several court cases, made up the names, the citations, the rulings, everything. The lawyer submitted them to the court and ended up facing serious sanctions. It's a powerful, real-world reminder of the stakes here.
The best way to protect yourself is with a simple framework called SIFT. It's easy to remember. S is for stop, just pause before you share or use the info. I is for investigate the sources, actually click on the links the AI gives you. F is for find better coverage, cross-reference it with another tool you trust. And T is for trace any big claims back to their primary original source.
And that leaves us with this final, crucial thought. In this new age of AI search, the burden of trust has shifted. It's not about trusting the answer the machine gives you anymore. It's about trusting your own ability to click on that little citation number and verify it for yourself. That right there, that is the skill that's going to define how we navigate the future of information.